Good morning, students. Welcome to lecture number 8 of module 2. So in this lecture, we are going to study eightfold path given by Buddhas. So if you remember previous lectures, in previous lectures, we talked about established values, expressed values. Then we saw relationship types with view 1 and with view 2. And in this lecture, in fact, onwards this lecture, we are going to talk about various ways to ensure continuity of happiness, to ensure harmonious relationship. So one of those formulations given in traditions is eightfold path. So in this session, we will see how eightfold path helps us to ensure harmonious relationship with everyone. So let's start this lecture. So far we have seen, we studied continuity of happiness. In fact, the whole course is to ensure continuity of happiness. That is our basic aspiration. And for continuity of happiness, now I suppose we must have understood that for continuity of happiness, what is required? Number 1, right understanding in the self. So understanding of the reality. This understanding is required at the level of self. So with right understanding, we have resolution, and with resolution, we ensure continuity of happiness. So number 1, right understanding in the self is required. Then right feeling and right thought in the self is required. Then in the context of physical facility, recognition of the need, right utilization of the physical facility, available physical facility with the feeling of prosperity is required. So for the continuity of happiness, these 3 things are required in me: right understanding, right thoughts and right feelings, and feeling of prosperity, so that we can assess our real requirement of physical facility. We can have feeling more than required physical facility. With ensuring all these 3, one can live with continuous happiness. In tradition, many ways to achieve this have been articulated. There are many formulations available in traditions in our culture who help us to achieve the same thing. So in this lecture and in next lecture, we are going to study those formulations. Like we would study Noble Eightfold Path. Then we would study Yam Niyam. Then natural laws, wealth, wishes, liberation is another formulation. Similarly, another formulation is non-accumulation, affection, knowledge, simplicity, and fearlessness. So there are many formulations discussed in tradition to achieve all these 3 points in ourselves. But in this course, we are going to study a Noble Eightfold Path, Yam Niyam, another formulation, natural laws, wealth, wishes, liberation, and 4th formulation is this: non-accumulation, affection, knowledge, and simplicity, and fearlessness. So these 4 formulations we are going to study in this course. So let's start one by one. So Noble Eightfold Path. So there are 8 steps which we will study. Number 1, right view, that is also known as Samyak Drashti. So we will see in detail. Next is right resolve, Samyak Sankalp. Right speech, Samyak Vachan. Right action, Samyak Karma. Right livelihood, Samyak Ajivika. Right effort, Samyak Parishram. Right mindfulness, awareness, samyak dhyan, and last is right vision, meditation, samyak samadhi. So we will study these 8 steps and we will see how these 8 steps help us to ensure harmony in relationships. So let's start from step number 1, that is right view. Okay. So before accepting anything as our goal, it is required to evaluate it properly. So it is essential to have the ability to recognize our goal. So right means to see the reality as it is. So in other words, we can say our view has to be minimally right to make the right evaluation for recognizing our goal. So if we realize the need to ensure the right understanding in the self, right feeling in the self, then these become our goal. So the more we progress towards understanding, the more the ability to see the reality and the ability of evaluation gets better than before. So it is an iterative process. In other words, we can say that our vision has to be at least clear enough to make the right evaluation for recognizing our goal. So we should be competent enough. We should be competent enough to recognize the things which lead to our happiness. It means we should be able to recognize that which leads to our happiness as a source of happiness and which leads to unhappiness as a source of unhappiness. It means right view means I have a view of reality that's make me enable to see the source of happiness, source of continuous happiness. Today what is happening? Due to absence of this right view, because of absence of this understanding of reality, we drive unhappiness unknowingly. For example, exploiting the others and assuming that it will lead to my happiness. Try to become prosperous through corruption, cheating. All these things are making us unhappy. Why? Because I don't have right view. So right view means samyak drashti. Samyak means right. Drashti means refer to the point of view. So right view is meant for seeing happiness as happiness and seeing unhappiness and unhappiness. So the most important aspect of this philosophy is to understand the source of happiness and unhappiness. So now with right view, I can evaluate, is this the right source of my happiness? If I am able to find out right source of my happiness, the source that ensure my continuity of happiness, it means it is coming from right view. So once it is identified, we try to treat on the path despite all the preconditioned obstacles. Okay. So you can investigate, you can observe in yourself whether you have right view, samyak drashti. Right view means a view that is unaffected from the environment, that is unaffected from my preconditioning, that is unaffected from my beliefs. A view based on realization of coexistence. A view based on my participation in larger order. So if I have right view, I can identify what is the right source of my happiness. Thus the sources of happiness and unhappiness are fundamental reality to be known. this is known as the stepping stone of the Ashtanga mark. So basically, Ashtanga mark help us to find out the real source of my happiness. So with right view, with Samyak Drishti, I can identify real source of my happiness. Okay. So for you, you can take pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself, do you have right view? Do you see outer world being unaffected from your preconditioning and beliefs? Are you able to find out real source of your happiness? So this right view help us to find out the real source of happiness. Then next step is right resolve. So right resolve means after correctly identifying our aspirations, correctly identifying the source of real happiness, we need to have the right resolve to take up essential activities with responsibilities. In other words, our external expression in living is first decided within. So whatever we our action are, first it is decided within myself. So if we are unable to take up a resolution to pursue our basic aspirations and make wrong decisions, we deviate from the path for a longer period. So that's why a right resolve is required in myself. So once I have right view, then there is a right resolve at the level of my feeling, at the level of my thoughts. Okay. So if our decision is correct, it means they are aligned with harmony, they are aligned with reality, then our external expression becomes right, mutually fulfilling. And if its decisions are incorrect, it means at the level of thought, we were not resolved rightly. That's why our decisions are incorrect, and it will create chaos outside also. So at the root of our behavior, work, livelihood are our decisions within in. So whatever decision we take at the level of thought are actually expressed during interaction and work with rest of nature. So with right view, I get right resolve. I get resolution in myself. So if we have taken the right decision for harmony aligned to the reality, then our external expression is right and mutually fulfilling. So right resolves refers to all those decisions which we intend to express or execute in a mutually fulfilling relationship. And this can happen with right view. So step 1 was regarding right view. Once I have right view, then I am resolved rightly in my imagination. So right resolve refers to all those decisions which we intend to express or execute in mutual relationship. Let's see another step. Right speech. So to be able to say that the right things in right manner. So once I have right view, once I have resolve in myself, then I am able to see right things in right manner. It means I am telling the things as it is. I am expressing the things as I have seen in myself. So right speech is most significant part of our behavior. So it is necessary so that we can speak the truth. And the way we are speaking the truth is also right. So right speech is related to our expression. Right speech is related to our body language when we tell anything. So two things are required. Number 1, to speak the truth as I have seen in myself, and number 2, that process of telling is also right. Even today we can see that absence of right speech, absence of this right speech ensure all these things. It means untruthfulness, harsh language, criticism, gossip, fruitless conversation, all are creating unhappiness situation around us. Thus, for our behavior to be right, it is essential that our speech is right and our expression are appealing. So the most significant part of the behavior is right speech. So with number 1, right view, right resolve, and now right speech. So I am speaking the truth which I have seen in myself with right understanding, and now I am articulating the things with right resolve. So it is right speech. So I am telling the truth as it is, and also the expression, also the process of telling is harmonious for everyone. Okay, now let's see, another step is right action. Samyak karma, karmant. So the 4th step, along with right vision, right speech, right resolve, is right action. So right action means, right action is meant for the proper organization of mental action, action through body, behavior, intake, routine, all the actions in any dimensions we are taking is actually properly organized, is coming from my resolve, is coming from my right view. So all these are named as karma. So karmant means the final part of an action, and it determines the expression of our behavior. So this is karmant. Karmant is highlighting the point that the rest of the action is over. So before the expression of behavior, we make decision in thoughts known as mental action. Mental action is the root cause of physical action. So karmant is highlighting the point that the rest of action is over, and now physical action is going to take place. This is karmant, last action. And before this, every action has already taken place at the level of thought, at the level of understanding. That's why we are naming it as karmant, right action. Okay, so let's move towards next step. Step number 5, right livelihood, samyak ajivika. The 5th step is samyak ajivika, right livelihood, and it is very important part. This 5th part of Ashtanga Marg is related to right livelihood. So along with the behavior, our production process also needs to be corrected. It means while producing the things, a cyclicity, a mutual fulfillment, mutual enrichment is required to ensure. So the manner in which we fulfill our physical needs and the manner in which we fulfill the physical needs of our family also have to be right. So at the level of self, at the level of body, and now at the level of interaction with nature, it also be harmonious. So the methods which we are identifying as the source of income to fulfill the needs of the family must be with the right means in right direction. So what are the basic guidelines for right livelihood? It should be human friendly, or at least not exploiting human beings who who are involved in this production process, who are involved in this livelihood process. Then eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means ensuring mutual fulfillment with rest of nature. So whenever we are interacting with other orders in nature, material order, pranic order, animal orders, they should not be exploited during this livelihood process. So basic guideline is it should be human friendly, it should be eco-friendly. So rest of nature and human at least should not be exploited while ensuring our livelihood. Therefore, it is essential to have the right mindset free from ego while sharing, giving, charity, etc. So basic guidelines for right livelihood is human friendly, in which there will not be exploitation of human beings, and another is eco-friendly, in which there will not be exploitation of nature. So in the absence of right livelihood, there is exploitation, harm to others, selling drugs, selling weapons, etc. You can see present situation is chaotic because of absence of this right livelihood, and it is because of absence of right view, because of absence of right resolve, because of absence of right behavior. So if we ensure this right livelihood, we ensure harmonious relations with the rest of nature. Let's see another step, that is right effort. It means making effort for harmony, to make effort for understanding harmony, learning skills for living in harmony and living in harmony. So to purify one's sanskar which are not in harmony is right effort. It means I am making effort to purify my sanskars, because ultimately my sanskars are going to govern my actions. So I have to make effort on my sanskars. I have to purify on my sanskars. So when we decide to get our livelihood through the right means, our sanskar is not aligned, then there is a gap between living and saying. For that, we need to put the effort from both ends. One is to learn the right skills and right livelihood. The other is to correct or get rid of sanskars which are opposite to our right living. So there is a need to cleansing. There is need to purify our sanskars which are not in harmony. And for that, we have to make effort on myself. Okay. So primarily for a healthy self, to nurture existing good qualities and acquiring new good qualities, to pure oneself of existing bad qualities and not acquiring new bad qualities. So we have to save ourselves, not acquiring new bad qualities, and parallelly we have to work to purify our sanskars. Similarly, we have to make effort to nurture things, and similarly we have to save ourselves to ensure harmony with nature. Okay. So let's see, next step is right mindfulness. So the next step is right mindfulness. It means continuous awareness. So awareness doesn't mean to remember the things which are in memory. Awareness means being constantly observant to oneself, being conscious to activity of the self. So continuous awareness about oneself, about the activity of self. Now next question is very important. If we have understood all these things, have we achieved all, or there is something to be achieved? or is there something more to achieve? So ultimately we want to understand, to see everything as it is with clarity, without any confusion, without any contradiction, without any distortion. Whatever steps we have discussed so far are not the final achievement, they are just the steps. The goal or final achievement is realization, knowledge, wisdom. These are our final goals. So ultimately we want to understand, to see everything with clarity, and our final goal is the realization and knowledge. With this we can discuss the last step of this eightfold path, that is right vision, meditation. So the achievement of first 7 steps of this Ashtanga marg is to ensure the right behavior, right speech, right livelihood in one's life. By doing so, we participate in the smooth running of the societal systems, and we can say at least don't get indulged in any kind of bad practice. So by and large, we become responsible, self-restrained, self-organized, and expected participation in society is also fulfilled. With these achievements, working in the self for knowledge and understanding is the way to samadhi, means right vision, right meditation. So the final stage of samadhi is meditation, is realization. So while working on the 8 steps, we see the more we focus within, the more our vision gets clarity, and at the level of wisdom increasingly manifests. So with the clarity of the vision, we can ensure the first 7 steps with more accuracy and preciseness. This also helps us to identify our goals to the point and realize them in totality. So with the help of these 7 steps, we are able to see the things in totality. Thus these 8 steps are connected with a cyclic process and complementarity with everyone. So right vision means achievement, realization, knowledge. Samadhi is the ultimate state of awareness in which we can see the reality as it is continuously. So in this state, the self is purified and focused. This is our goal. So all these steps have been briefly identified as Noble Eightfold Path. They are identified as wisdom, knowledge. Okay. So now we can sum up the whole lecture. We have understood right view, right resolve means right decision. Right view means able to recognize which leads to happiness, which leads to unhappiness. Then right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right vision means self-study, self-expression, to see the reality as it is. So if we investigate, if we follow these 8 steps in myself, so I get self-organized in myself, and also my actions ensure harmony with other human being and rest of nature. So this is one formulation in our tradition which tell us how to ensure harmony within myself and how to ensure harmonious relation with the rest of nature. So that's all from my side for this lecture. In next lecture, we will study another formulation given in tradition to ensure harmonious relationship with everyone. Thank you friends. Let's meet in next lecture. Have a good day. Thank you.